and said, can you for heaven's sake take some action, because I'm seeing cases here that have filed a case where I would have taxed 200,000, but they're getting 20 million. They've gone and agreed 20 million, 30 million. Can you do something and get that stopped? So if a magistrate can get to a point of being pricked, so we need to be able to be sure that these bills that are coming are taxed. And if there's any consent, it must be a consent that is very, very reasonable. Otherwise, taxation would protect counties. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think you have reinforced part of what we've been discussing, and I think the governor now has clear guidance on what she should do. Auditor General, let's go back to the report and deal with the issues that are still untouched. Your opinion on 2022-2023, what was it?
Chair, the report of the Auditor General on the County Executive of Machakos for the year ended 30th June 2023. The report was a qualified opinion.
We'll quickly go through the qualified opinion. The first basis.
The first basis for qualification, number one, Chair, accuracy of comparative balances. The statement of cash flows reflect comparative decrease in cash and cash equivalents of Kenya shilling 659,695,806, while the audited financial statements reflect an increase of Kenya shillings 356,120,327, resulting to unreconciled and unexplained difference of Kenya shillings 1,015,816,133.
In the circumstances?
In the circumstances, the accuracy of comparative decrease in cash and the cash equivalent balance of Kenya shilling 659,695,806 could not be confirmed.
Okay, now we have the governor's written response there. Even before she goes through it, you have gone through it. Does it address the query or there are still gaps?
Chair, the reconciliation is addressing the query. The only challenge that was remaining is the explanation, because the issue was to deal with those balances in the SPA account and the deposit account, which are not swept back to CRF. However, in the reconciliation, there was still also balances, although smaller in value, from both recurrent and development. That is where now the issue of reconciliation was not fully resolved.
So following this explanation, would you still maintain that audit observation, following the explanation that has been offered?
The explanation given by the county, that's what you have said, the issue is partially addressed. It is addressing the balances in two accounts, the SPA in total, and also the retention. But also there are balances which are from recurrent and development, which are supposed to have been swept back by 30th June of each year.
And in terms of materiality, what amounts are involved?
Okay. For the ones that has remained unresolved, the balances both in the recurrent and the development, the materiality is on the lower side, but on cash, as we approach the audit, every figure is actually material, but they are smaller. They were small. Is
this indicative of loss of public funds, or this is an accounting problem?
Share, this is an accounting issue.
So if it's an accounting issue, the reconciliations can be done even in the adjustments can be done even in the current financials.
Share, that is the way forward, whereby they can be prior year adjustment.
So we direct that the adjustments be done accordingly as per the guidance of the Auditor General. The second issue?
The second issue, Share, variances between financial statements and IFMIS balances. The financial statements reflect balances that were at variance with the Integrated Financial Management Information System, IFMIS, balances in the following three expenditure items. So the first expenditure item, Share, uses of goods and services. The figure that appeared in the financial statement was 1,400,609,381. But the IFMIS balance is Kenya shillings 737,356,541, leading to a variance of 663,252,840. The second expenditure item is the transfers to other government entities. In the financial statement, the figure reads 1,851,025,447. The IFMIS balance is 140,471,256. 170,471,256, leading to a variance of 1,680,554,191. The third expenditure item is acquisition of assets, where the financial statement figure was 1,387,309,122, while the IFMIS balance was 1,669,211,333, leading to a variance of negative 281,902,211. In the circumstances, the accuracy and the completeness of the amount to the three expenditure for the three expenditure items in the financial statements could not be confirmed.
Governor?
The county government, with the guidance of the National Treasury, has progressively reduced the variance between the financial statement and the IFMIS data. A joint exercise between the Machakos County Executive and the County Treasury and the National Treasury conducted during the financial year reduced the number of unreconciled expenditure items from 15 in financial year 2021-2022 to 3 in 2022-2023. The remaining item, use of goods and services, transfers to other government entities, and acquisitions of assets are actively being addressed to completely match the two assets of the financial statement. We provide the extract of the financial year 2021-2022 audit report on variance between the financial statement and IFMIS balance to indicate the progress that we have managed to achieve in Appendix 2.
This, I don't even have to refer to the Auditor General. Your response does not deal with the question. You cannot say that because you are better off than last year, the mistake of this year should be normalized. What we must see is a reconciliation of use of goods and services between financial statement and IFMIS, that variance of 663 million. That is what you need to be presenting. Not showing that last year was worse, so this year should be okay, even if it's bad.
Okay.
Have you demonstrated the reconciliations?
Yes, I would like my CC Finance to answer that.
So, Chair, through the governor, when the governor can allow me to just through 1 minute, I give the gravity of that matter. So
don't take us on a historical journey. Just tell me why under financial statements you have 1.4 billion under use of goods and services, and in IFMIS you have only 737 million. IFMIS is supposed to be the single source of truth for county government transactions, so that if your financial hard copies and records were to be burnt down, God forbid, we can go to IFMIS and use it as the granary of data. So why do you have 1.4 billion in your financial statements and only 700 million in IFMIS? The man on the street might assume that the 663 million is fake expenditure.
So, Chair, through the governor, the question cannot be answered without having a sneak preview of the story. When the governor took over, the situation was bad. And we reached out...
Vacate that line of argument.
I'm vacating, I am obliged. But I'm saying from...
Chair, through you, Chair. We are 2 years down the line.
Correct.
So they should not be talking now about the previous government. They should be talking about the current government now.
I think you read the Bible, you know what happened to the wife of Lot when she kept looking back.
Chair,
Maybe a further question, because Governor, you know, I don't want your CCM to mislead us. What I'm saying, even Governor, your Appendix 2 has just shown that there was a problem in the previous financial year. But this year, you know, after taking Panadol, we are much more better. The question is, where is even evidence to the National Treasury to try and clear, because it is not attached? Where is it in CCM? Don't display your incompetence here. Because even in the management response, you didn't indicate that there is another next year to show a letter to National Treasury. We are not your kids. You don't table documents after the fact. The governor and deputy governor are former members of parliament. Why didn't you attach here in the management response? It's only the only appendix that the governor has provided is Appendix 2. Why are you hiding some documents there? Are you intending to mislead this committee?
So that is why the chair is giving you an opportunity to explain.
Yes.
Do not take us on a historical journey.
So, and don't be sneaking documents that are not part of the response and annexures. Please.
Proceed.
So, Chair, through the Governor, under Appendix 2B, we've attached.
Appendix 2B is not referred to in your written responses.
Appendix 2B.
And Appendix 2B does not exist in the whatever is before us.
Sure. The Appendix 2B is there.
Chair, I think the CCM thing might at some point go under oath. Because if we continue misleading the committee, even on record by saying there is Annex 2B, yet it does not exist.
Annex 2B does not exist.
So, Chair,
it has not been referred to.
Chair, apologies, please. Apologies, Chair. But on 11th of April, 2023, we wrote to the National Treasury because the problem could not be resolved without the IFMIS, Director of IFMIS. We wrote to him on 11th April 2023. He responded to us on 17th May 2023. And that's why we've been progressively and aggressively reduced those items from 17 to 3. The 3 that are remaining, they are active engagement between the county and the National Treasury. And we are very optimistic because we had given ourselves a timeline of next month. We are very optimistic. The next time we are coming here, we will not have that this issue is recurring.
Now, Auditor General, just to be clear, I hope it's not an issue of misclassification. If you look at the variances, do they add up? Well, do they net off?
Okay, Chair, the variances are actually not out of misclassification. It is just the scenario where some expenditures may not have been captured in the IFMIS, but has actually been incurred, and that's where the issue of reconciliation comes in, where they have to get the IFMIS access after, and they are able now to capture whatever they may not have captured in the IFMIS, but has actually occurred.
Who has the job of doing reconciliations in IFMIS within your organization?
Chair, the direct technical officer is head of accounting services.
So what do they do morning to evening, every other day, if these things are not reconciled?
Chair, as I've stated, there is a team from the National Treasury who has been sitting with them. Actually,
are they incompetent, your officers?
No, it is the extract. There are some extracts that at times that are missing from the IFMIS. So we have to rely on the technical team from IFMIS to help us. There's even a letter from...
Order. National Treasury, is this something within your knowledge?
Chair, I do not agree with that because when you capture something and you pay through IFMIS, it should have come out as IFMIS. So unless if they are making payments out of IFMIS, then there is a problem.
Governor, I think in your background you have a systems background. Why can't systems work in your county? Unless it's deliberate.
Chair, maybe as Governor answers with your indulgence, I thought I heard the head of accounting services is acting. Is the head of accounting services in office substantively? Where is the head of accounting services? Are you acting or you are substantively in office?
Chair, and through the Governor, in acting capacity.
You are in. Can you speak with
for how long?
It's lunch hour. Can
how
you
long?
Speak with
for how long have you been in acting?
You are not on record.
Please turn on the mic.
Through the chair.
Chair, through Excellency, I'm on acting capacity for the last 9
year.
months. Yes.
9 months.
Yes.
Are you Mr. Daniel Mutula?
I'm Mr. Daniel Mutula.
You signed these ones as head of accounting services. So were you once
Acting.
the substantive head?
No, acting, not substantive.
Nothing here shows that you are acting. Daniel Mutula, ISPAC number?
It's 18377.
You have signed as head of accounting unit alongside Collins Adipo, Chief Officer Finance. Is Collins here? Governor, is Collins Adipo?
Collins moved from finance to trade, is in trade, and I have the chief officer here. Asanga is here as the chief officer.
Why is this guy who performs such a critical role in acting capacity? This is such an important role because it has an impact on these reports, which you come to defend.
Chair, as you know, as a county, we're having some financial difficulties, and once you advertise, you have to be in a position to be able to pay that person the required salary. So we are looking at our accounts, and once we are okay, we are going to do.
So what's his current substantive role? What is Daniel Mutula's current substantive role?
My substantive role is Assistant Accountant General.
Assistant Accountant General.
Assistant Accountant
General.
So you are supposed to assist the head of accounting services, or there's an accountant general in your staff establishment? You know, you have interesting titles in Machakos. Someone introduced themselves as executive personal assistant. Now I'm hearing assistant accountant general.
General is also chief of Asanga.
Chair,
He's not chief of.
Please just repeat your designation and name.
Chair, through the governor, I'm Julius Kasanga, Chief Officer Finance. In our establishment, the Accountant General is equivalent to the head of accounting services. So Dan Motula is in essence the deputy of the position that.
So what happened to the guy who was holding that position?
He was transferred to a different role, and Motula assumed on an acting capacity. Chair.
Is Mutula the one who has certified the accounts for 2023-2024? The ones that are currently being audited?
Chair, yes.
Still as acting?
Yes.
If you don't trust him, Governor, if you don't trust him to hold a substantive position, why do you trust him to sign your financials?
Chair, I've told you, I was waiting I've got, I'm being strained, we are being strained financially as a county, and we're just looking at our financial status. And it's not that I don't trust him, he's working in that department. Once I get the finances, I'm going to advertise the position. And I've already initiated that.
Okay.
I can assure you I've already initiated that, the process to advertise internally.
Okay, fine.
He has been acting for 9 months.
1 year.
Number one, 1 year, or close to 1 year. What could be the justification? Number two, where is the evidence, Governor, that you want to do competitive recruitment? We are not canvassing for Mr. Mutula, but where is the evidence that shows that you want to competitively fill that position? Because he is signing your financial statements, which shows the functionality, and CCM Finance, I don't know whether he's giving you the correct advice. The fact that you trust somebody to sign your financial statements, the heartbeat of running of the organization, it means that person, the threshold of qualification of that person and competence and ability should be beyond reproach. So where is the evidence to show that we are doing competitive recruitment for that position?
Chair, before she answers
Governor, Senator?
what does the law say about acting? How long should one act? Should one be acting for a year?
Yes.
What does the law say?
And we have seen he was a CEO.
Auditor?
Okay, Chair. You need to act maximum 6 months. Either you are confirmed or you go back to your original.
Yeah, and that matter has been canvassed.
So how come, Chair, he has been acting for about a year?
Yes.
Governor, you remember, I think there was a preliminary observation that a number of your staff are on acting basis. But addressing this specific issue, first of all, respond to the senator.
Chair, I've said we had issues of finance, and I already initiated the process. And once we are done, we are going to advertise. It is competitive. So
You have a lot of HR decisions that you must make, and you must be bold enough to make those decisions. You are the chief executive officer of Machakos County. You need to make the right decisions because you rely on your team to deliver. You are a politician, you are a policy bearer, you are a vision bearer. They are the ones who do the reconciliations and the technical work. If you don't have the right people, it is going to impact on you. And an otherwise progressive governor might start looking like she does not know what she's doing because the team around her does not have the confidence and the team around her does not have the relevant comfort for them to make decisions. So I think, Governor, the HR aspect is also one of the areas that you need to pay a lot of attention to. I hope you have a county public service board, a chair that is substantive. Is the chair substantive of the county public service board?
Yes, yes.
A secretary
yes,
that is substantive?
Yes, yes.
And it's fully established?
Yes, it is fully constituted.
You now have a staff establishment?
Yes, I have.
I heard you say not too long ago that you are building structures afresh.
We already have the staff establishment.
Okay.
So now we are trying to rationalize.
I think look at it as a matter of urgency.
We are trying to rationalize.
Otherwise, it's going to be your
Senator,
hamstring.
when you're dealing, I understand you, Senator, but you're also dealing with human beings. Sometimes you have to know how to handle these things because you're dealing with human beings.
But remember, there's the law.
There's a law. The law must be followed, Senator.
It has already been breached on the acting.
And the bottom line is performance. So I've told you for the acting is it was about financial matters, and I'm sorted. I'm able to put the advert, and the paperwork is already done. The internal.
Okay, let's leave it at that. Senator Dulo, then Senator Kavindu, so that we can proceed.
I just wanted. It's actually surprising to hear from the governor they are having financial problems in recruitment of staff. If it is a county like Isiolo, I could understand because of the budget allocation that is given to those counties. Does it mean Machakos doesn't have money for recruitment of staff?
Challenges are there. Challenges are everywhere. Also, getting money from Treasury is a challenge. I'm not going to add more people or add myself more burden while I cannot.
You're not adding people. You're already having challenges with the ones you are substantially supposed to fill.
So,
more specifically, you are head of finance.
Governor, just hold on. It would be neater. It would be neater to get the submissions of the senators so that you respond.
Chair.
Senator Cherargei, then Senator Kavindu will have the final.
Follow up on Senator Dulo. Governor, you said you did HR audit, which the report you have tabled. In this HR audit, was there a possibility of redundancy of some positions? Because head of accounting services is so critical. Like Chief of Finance, you cannot say you don't need it because you don't have money to pay their salary. It means the organization will grind to a halt, considering that these financial statements and head of accounting services is a very critical and important aspect within the organization of Machakos County Executive. So in your HR audit, when you started staff rationalization, I thought the head of accounting services is more critical than any other positions because it shows the heartbeat of the financial infrastructure within the county government of Machakos.
Those are the critical positions that came out, Chair, and the paperwork is already out.
Okay, Senator Kavindu Mudam.
Chair, I was just wondering from the governor,
how many more officers are in acting position for this long? Because if the law says they should be acting for 6 months, and then they are either taken back to where they came from or they are promoted, how many others are still acting in Machakos County?
Governor, do you have that data?
I can provide the data.
Okay, I think it would be important.
Yes.
It will inform our report writing and the recommendations that we need to make.
Yeah.
Please, and this time, don't do what we did on 12th October last year, where we give directions only for them to be fulfilled 1 year down the line. Let us get a listing of the officers who are in acting positions, the duration that they've been acting. In that schedule, include the positions they're acting in and their substantive positions and the duration, and a commentary on the plans by the county executive to either recruit or to formalize. I think that schedule would help us, because we want to see head of accounting is acting, are there people acting in other critical sectors? Now, Governor?
Is it possible for can the clerk write to us?
Yes, the clerk will write to you.
So that we can respond.
I must give the details so that it's captured on Hansard for the clerk then to communicate to you.
Thank you.
But you should also be taking note of what needs to be provided within 14 days.
Thank you.
On this particular matter of variances, I think the matter remains unresolved, and we are not convinced that the problem is at the National Treasury, and we ask the Auditor General to keep it in view and to report on it in the subsequent cycle. Senator
Chair, there was a letter that the CCM Finance had indicated that he had written to National Treasury. I don't know, was there any response to that letter of 2023 concerning the technical of working with the National Treasury? And Chair, maybe since the CCM is the only person with privilege of seeing that letter, maybe I don't know whether he can supply later or something.
I think I can allow them to supply it so that it forms part of the records.
Sorry.
No, Governor, just let it be tabled so that we can proceed to other matters.
Can I just clarify something?
Okay, proceed.
We wrote to Treasury on 11th April 2023, and the National Treasury replied on 17th May 2023.
Yeah, please table that, because we want to see the content of the conversation.
Again,
it might have been year-end procedures and not a specific request. So you just table the report. We shall consider it. The Clerk of the Senate. Honourable members, we proceed. Accuracy of employee costs. The Auditor General has reported that this matter has now been resolved. There was a 401 million variance that was queried. Auditor General, has this matter now been addressed?
Chair, the matter has been addressed. The variance and reconciliation has been done to address the variance, and it was actually arising from the IPPD data, which has not captured the contribution to pension. This is LAP Trust and LAP Fund. So that reconciliation has been done. The 401 is actually the statutory contribution.
Fine. So we can adopt the written responses and the supporting annexures.
Yes, Chair.
Cash and bank balances.
Cash and accuracy of cash and bank balances. The statement of assets and liabilities, and as disclosed in notes 13A and 13B, reflect bank balances of Kenya shillings 1,916,198,744 at the nil cash in hand. However, audit review of financial record revealed that the disclosed bank balances of Kenya shillings 1,916,198,744 related to ordinary 18.
Auditor General,
Sorry.
For purposes of time management,
Yes, sir.
because we had gotten a brief, we are taking your finding as captured and the response as provided. But you indicated that only 170 bank accounts
Yes, Chair.
had been reconciled.
Exactly, Chair. 170 were reconciled. The balance from 245 have remained unreconciled, Chair.
So 75 bank accounts have remained unreconciled.
Yes, Chair.
Governor, for purposes of efficiency, do you agree that only 170 accounts were reconciled? And if so, what is the status of the other 75 bank accounts?
The 245 bank accounts. The 245 bank account balances did not form part of the bank, and cash balances in the.
Governor, we shall take your written response, and I'm trying to manage this so that we can cover more areas. You have already submitted your written response. We have analyzed it, and it emerges that only 170 have been reconciled. 75 have not been reconciled. So that's what we need to deal with, the gap. The rest of the response we shall take as per what you have submitted.
The rest of the bank accounts were reconciled, and the details will be forwarded to the auditors.
170 were reconciled, 75 were not.
The rest have been reconciled, and the information will be forwarded to the auditors.
Has been or will be?
Has been reconciled.
What has been done? The reconciliation?
The reconciliation.
And has it been submitted to the auditor?
It will be submitted to the auditor.
Why? If it has been done, why has it not been submitted to the auditor?
We will submit it as soon as possible, Chair.
Governor, remember, there's a court ruling that has just hit us, saying that audit reports must be considered within 6 months, as stated in the Constitution. Senator Mtata, you probably understand it better.
Yeah.
So when you come and tell us that it will be, we might find ourselves running outside the constitutional timelines. We are already outside constitutional timelines. So if something has been done, why isn't it with the Auditor General?
Thank you, Chair. And through the Governor, during the audit period, it's 170 accounts that had not been reconciled, but were subsequently reconciled and submitted to the auditors. The 75 during the audit and been reconciled, and it's not part of this audit query.
Auditor General?
Chair, the position is, as we have observed, out of 245 bank accounts, 170 has been reconciled, submitted, and we have confirmed.
We are not supported.
The balance has not been reconciled, and that is what the Honorable Governor is saying. They have done it, and they can.
There cannot be two versions of the truth.
We will provide.
Do you have evidence of the 75 that were reconciled and presented to the Office of the Auditor General?
Yes, Chair, and we can still provide the same.
I will direct that the two officers just review this, and at the end of the day, the word that we will take will be the word of the Office of the Auditor General.
Okay.
Patrick, that's fair?
Thank you, Chair. We'll do that, exactly that.
Okay, so you can advise us at the point of report writing, but please supply that information. But I've heard governors saying that because of that act, you can have multiple accounts. That act came into force just last year, alongside the three other.
Maybe I can rephrase, Governor, maybe I can rephrase how many commercial bank accounts outside the establishment of financial facilities improvement of health act outside, how many commercial bank accounts? Number one. Number two, do you have pay bill or M-Pesa accounts, and how many are they?
Okay. Now, Chair, I go to the first question about the accounts for the hospitals. They were permitted through Danida because most of the money for the level 2s were going to.
Why Danida, not the laws of Kenya?
Their money was going direct to the facilities.
It was coming as conditional grants.
Yeah,
The facilities.
And there was no law then.
To the facilities direct. They said they were giving the facilities direct.
Governor, we are fairly informed about these processes. I think there was a violation of the law, but it has now been corrected now that we have the Facility Financing Act. And I think that's why there's another committee of the Senate that I don't know whether you've appeared before them on the issue of bank accounts. Was that the Devolution Committee? Have you been before the Devolution Committee on issue of bank accounts?
We are coming on the 6th.
Yeah, so I think you'll have that detailed conversation, but the position has been that it was irregular. But the saving grace is that there is now a law. So maybe what people need to agree on is how to move forward.
That's why I just wanted her to answer on the issue of commercial bank accounts outside the accounts that belong under the Act of Health Facilities Improvement Act. How many commercial bank accounts do you have? Commercial bank accounts